What is going on, everyone? Welcome to another Bucks on Deck podcast episode. I'm Anthony Murphy. With me, as always, Nola Jeffy. Nola, what's going on, man?
It's another day in paradise.
It's
Busy.
busy taking apart, putting together furniture, or just taking apart.
Pretty much.
Yeah,
I put it together and then I had to take it
put
apart.
it together. That's always fun. But
Yeah.
we're back. Took a break last week. We made plans to record while I was down in Greensboro, but my internet never really cooperated at either hotel that I stayed at. So we pushed it back to this week. So it should be back on schedule now. But yeah, if you didn't know, I was in Greensboro all last week watching the Grasshoppers play. Had a good time. So I figured we'd spend the good part of this episode talking about that and talking about some of the players there. Greensboro's off to a really good start. They won again tonight while we were recording. I believe they're like 12-4 now. I think the biggest thing or the biggest topic, biggest name to probably touch on first would be Antwone Kelly and the velocity spike that he apparently had. I had a chance to talk to him the day before his start, and he mentioned there's a little bit of his fastball was up. I didn't realize he meant it was that up. I talked to Josh Norris during the game of Baseball America. He said he hit 100. So that's a pretty interesting development for another pitcher in the system, huh?
That's kind of fun.
Yeah. So he was a guy that kind of had some like interesting like fastball traits and stuff like that last year. Had a good changeup, but missed some time with an injury, and you could tell he's still kind of learning how to pitch and whatnot. And then this year just came in and he's been throwing gas, and it looks like it's just another Pirates pitching factory success to this point.
Yeah, which I mean, and even going a little bit off of that, just because of something you mentioned earlier this evening was Furtado.
Yeah.
All of a sudden flashing 95, 96 from the left side.
Yeah, and he's the guy that averaged 90. I think I looked at his player card the other day, and it was like 89, 90 that he averaged last year with the fastball. So he's up a whole 4 or 5 miles an hour.
Which I guess were you getting readings on Whitgreave?
Yes, it was working by that day, and I think he topped out at like 92.7 or something like that.
Okay, so that's about where he was last year.
Yeah, I don't think it's anything, but with his arm slot, like I said, I mentioned the other day, he kind of feels like Anthony Solometo without the funky delivery and like better fastball shape, I guess.
Well, and in a way, because I think we said it about oh crap, his name just left me again. Connor Oliver too was they almost even felt somewhat similar to being like Bailey Falter types.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they definitely have a type when it comes to lefties, and it's shown again with Wheatgriff, and he was another guy too on the pitching side that looked really good. And what is it? John was the one that told us that like lefties down there, if you could throw strikes and whatnot, you have the advantage. And he's kind of seems like a guy who's going to have a very easy time down in the lower levels, but mixed his pitches well, threw some changeups, threw like a slider cutter. Very very impressive outing. I think the only base runner that he allowed was a error that he committed. He like overthrew. It was like a grounder to him, and he like overthrew the first baseman. So,
God, I love those.
Yeah. But going back to Kelly real quick. So like upper 90s, which is obviously interesting. Then he has the cutter. He has a slider. The slider, they mentioned that on, the Statcast standouts for Baseball America the other day, that the slider is posting like 115 stuff plus for it. So Pirates, there's sometimes in my head that I kind of feel like maybe like their whole Pirates pitching factory gets a little overblown just because they keep bringing up Paul Skeens, which it's not like they had to do much with Paul Skeens. He was just kind of naturally good, Bubba Chandler always kind of had the upside to do this kind of stuff. And like a lot of the pitchers they mention are like high draft picks. So like maybe it's kind of expected with that. But then you get something like Antwone Kelly coming in here, and now he's throwing triple digits, and like the stuff is popping. Someone like Alessandro Urcolani, stuff's popping. Wilbur Dotel, all that kind of stuff. Then it's kind of like, okay, well, yeah. Then obviously it looks like they're kind of cooking with stuff there.
Yeah, and then I mean, even a guy going into someone like Hunter Barco, too.
Yeah.
And then I know we noticed it in the 2024 spring breakout game with like Sean Sullivan, although when he got into the season he kind of fell back into his normal range of like 91, 92, top of 93. I think he did hit 95, 96 again in one of his Bradenton rehab outings. Didn't stay, but touched it.
He's someone that I feel like can have like the that I feel is kind of similar to like someone like Carmen Mjensky, who I feel like the stuff would pop a lot better if they just kind of made the move to the bullpen and stuff like that. And they haven't. I know he's like building up like rehab stuff like that, but it's not like they've like pitched him deep into like those rehab games. I don't know whether they're just like he's literally starting from scratch with that, or what, or maybe they could be trying to do that because it's gonna be kind of hard to find a rotation spot for him in like Altoona or higher at this point.
Yeah, I mean, because at this point, again going back to Barco, unless someone's moving up to Pittsburgh anytime soon, the only real spot would be like moving Barco up and Carson Fulmer into the bullpen.
Yeah. Which I mean, I guess that makes sense with it. I think they kind of like having more of a veteran kind of thing. I guess maybe in the rotation. And I can't imagine this Mjensky starter thing lasts too much longer, and that we'll get someone up there to take his spot at some point.
Yeah.
And then you can slide Barco.
It's something I would have to kind of probably spitball off of Ethan, because not this year, it's the next year. I think the new CBA is coming up, correct? I think after next season.
Sure.
But I know when he and I were kind of going through the top 100 list and who would be PPI eligible this season. I made a comment. I was like, this feels a lot less than normal. And it's definitely, I don't even know if it's double digits of players that are PPI eligible. And then with Matt Shaw got sent down. So I don't know how many days he's been down yet, but once he hits, I think it was 20 days where he uses an option, he's no longer eligible. So, yeah, I don't even think it's double digits. Kurtz is up too late, so he's not eligible. So there's not really going to be a lot that are eligible this year. And so I just feel like maybe teams are kind of moving back into leaning more on Super 2 dates.
That makes sense. Which is kind of weird, too, because it kind of feels like the whole PPI thing kind of, quote unquote, worked for the most part. Because, like, what is it? We've had multiple draft picks already handed out in a couple years that they've done this.
Yeah, I don't think last year, because Skeens won, and then Gill. So neither.
Last year would have been like
that one was weird.
Yeah.
I mean, I think if Austin Wells would have won, they would have got it, I believe. But yeah, Gill won, so they didn't get it. I think was it Bibby? I don't think. Well, did Bibby win or Bibby got second?
He got second.
I don't remember now.
I believe he got second.
Right. Because
it would have been
Gunner, right?
J-Rod 1 year, and then it would have been Gunner the other year. So he would have finished second behind one of them.
Yeah, and I know that. Yeah, the year Strider finished second, Harris won. And if Strider would have won, then they would have got it. But Harris won, so they did it. The Braves. But I mean, there has been a handful handed out. Although some players could still get their team a pick. Say if Skeens finishes, top 3? I think I can't remember if it's top 3 MVP or in top 2 Cy Young. One of those two, he can still get the Pirates. No, I take it back. Sorry, that's the whole confusion because he came up too late, therefore he can't. But someone like Bobby Witt didn't win Rookie of the Year, but he was eligible, and because he was eligible, he could still technically get the Royals a pick by like winning MVP or something.
Yeah.
Or top 3.
Confusing stuff. That's why I avoid that.
Yeah, it is.
I let other people do that. But since we went completely off the rails here, let's we'll roll back in a bit and talk about a couple guys on the hitting side down there. I guess like the most notable thing and the name that's kind of caused a stir, I guess, over the last couple of days is someone that we've talked about a lot on the site as more of a like. We kind of hope that this guy kind of puts some stuff together because like half of his game is already pretty damn good. But Javier Rivas, pretty good start to the year, hitting ball hard. He had a 5-hit game, including a grand slam and a walk-off hit one of the days in Greensboro while I was there. What have you seen from him like early on, and do you kind of feel like this is a legit kind of change for him?
I do partially pause with just kind of even the other day when I was like, oh guys, Lonnie White's back, and then I think he struck out like 4 times in like 6 at bats since. But he had another home run tonight, but I think the other at bats he struck out. But Javier Rivas does look like everything is kind of coming together, and which you had mentioned, I believe, that he told you he had worked on his swing and everything in the offseason.
Yeah. He got rid of the leg kick. He had a pretty big leg kick, and he said he got rid of it, and he kind of felt like it's helped his timing pretty well.
Which is something that's so funny, just with because apparently tonight's my off the rails night. Someone like Matt Gorski, where he added that kind of crazy leg hold. Mm-hmm. Everybody was like, "What is he doing?" But it's like as soon as he like got the timing down on it, like he kind of took off with his bat. So, and it just seems like with Rivas, this could be hopefully the key to getting that bat going, because like everything else is just so good. Like it's beautiful watching him play defense. Like it, just everything, the way he feels the ball. I mean, and at his size, like 6'6", whatever he weighs, because we know the sight's not correct.
And I don't think we can stress that enough, because I already saw one person in like the NS9 Discord mention another guy I wanted to talk to about, like Shalin Polanco, talk about his weight and then like the weight from the MILB page. Those are almost 99% of the time wrong. So like if you see the weight, Carlos Jimenez is still, I think he's still listed at one
stateside.
Yeah,
and these kids are coming stateside. They're getting full, especially with that few years ago when that whole thing with they had to be fed and housed and everything through the organization. Like these kids are eating well, especially when they're at Bradenton. I mean, they're on the team facility site, like the weight rooms, like they're hitting the gym often, like putting on good weight. And so someone like Rivas is probably like 215, 220 now at 6'6", and just again, watching him play defense, like whether it's shortstop, third base, like everything's just like every throw's a dart at the chest.
Yeah,
it's
all
so
all
if you can even just there's obviously just pure raw power in his body, just again off his size and everything, and he's someone that, man, if he puts it together, like that would be huge for the organization developmentally wise and everything.
Yeah, they need a win like this, and like it's too early to be going off like certain like counting numbers, and like he had a couple week hot streak down in Bradenton last year too that had us like kind of talking the same thing that we're like talking now. It's like is it finally clicking for him? And things kind of trended back in the wrong direction, and then like he struggled in Greensboro to end the year. But like I think I mentioned it on with the NS9 guys. It's like when a guy is all of a sudden like making better and more solid contact after they're saying that they've made like a specific change to their swing and stuff like that, I'm more inclined to believe that like this is legit than if someone is doing all the same things over a 2-week sample size and like someone like Michael Escoto. Like I don't think I saw anything down there different from him that led me to believe that he's like turning a corner finally, other than the fact that he's batting like over 500 or something like that. So yeah, like it's still too early for me.
Which and then Escoto, he's another someone else that's like seeing him like he bulked up.
He did, and it hurt his range. That guy has zero range now in the infield. It feels like.
Yeah, and then he really he got some fire in him when he went at Sam Antonacci.
He did. It was funny. It was that guy because that was one of the guys that we were interested in the draft, and like now Escoto was there taking swings at him. So
right.
That was weird when he only got a couple games for that. So
yeah.
But Rivas is definitely a guy that we're going to keep an eye on all year because if that does click, like you said, that's just going to be huge for the development team and whatnot. Another guy too. I'm trying to go through these. So we're not.
Esmeralda Valdez.
We got to mention him. That power is legit, and I will say that 3-run home run that he hit on Sunday, I called that too, because Kim and I were sitting there. We're like she was like I think we were both ready to leave and head home, but she goes like, because they had 2 runners on, and she's like, well, they're both going to score, and then this game's going to extra innings. I'm like, well, Valdez might just hit a 3-run home run, and then like they just win in the top of the ninth, and then like 2 pitches later, he hits the home run. I'm like, oh, look at that, we can go home. So, but yeah, I don't think there's any doubt.
I think Rosati said he hit the ball in the orbit tonight.
Oh yeah, that went a long ways. He hit that one pretty good. So he's someone that like really the big key for him is just to cut down the strikeouts and maybe show a little more versatility in the outfield, which I do feel like he's moved a lot better out there to start the year. Still probably heading towards a first base thing, but if he could still manage to kick out in the outfield here and there, I think that help him keep some of his value and stuff like that.
Which, and I think I've said the past couple podcasts that he's someone that looks like he got his body into a good place.
Yeah,
coming into the season.
Last person I'll go ahead and mention on that because I know there's 2 other players not on Greensboro that we kind of wanted to go into in there. Shalin Polanco. I think okay. So thinking about Javier Rivas getting rid of the leg kick, I think Polanco should maybe consider that because he's got a pretty decent like leg kick at times, and I feel like maybe that could be messing up some of the timing. So I think if there's another candidate, maybe just to kind of wash that out, I would kind of love to see that from him because last week just kind of proved everything that I've always thought. Like the kid is super talented, and he's still just 21. He just needs something to kind of put it all together, and maybe that getting rid of that leg kick does the same thing for him that it did for Rivas.
Which and then I guess next sidebar, since night of the sidebars, there's another thing you just kind of made me think of because I think Valdez turned 21 in January. I think it was this year.
Like that, yeah.
It feels a little different. It feels a little different with regards to just that. In years past, it was like, oh, look, Gorski's taking off. Although, hey, he's a 24-year-old in Greensboro. And same thing with Matt Frazier and some of the other hitters. It was like, they're, advanced college bats. Well, air quotes, advanced. But, college bats that, should be doing well. It's their second, third year. Or even Siani and Hudson Head. Like, it's like, they've been here a minute. But, some of the guys that are kind of clicking early on for Greensboro or guys that it's like, oh, he just turned 21 or like, I mean, I still can't believe Escoto is only 22, but it's a lot of kids that still have youth on their side. Even Lonnie White, like he would have been a junior, essentially a college junior draft pick this past draft.
Yeah.
So he's not necessarily behind.
No. You think about it. Last year he probably doesn't make. If he was drafted by the Pirates last year, he probably doesn't make it out of Bradenton. Like he probably just gets a quick cameo in Bradenton to end the year, and then that's it. And then he's either starting there again, or he's just now making his high A debut. So
yeah. Which it's still, I'm still hoping because like when his last year in Bradenton, like that last like month was like phenomenal from him.
Yeah,
and it's like okay, this is the upside you want to see from Lonnie if he puts it all together, like just everything.
Yeah. And he is still. I had a chance to talk with him, and he is just. He still looks like he could go out there and play like tight end. He's just so physically built right now. And so, like when he hit that home run, it got to the point. It got to the point I was starting to get worried again because I know last year when I went down there, it didn't feel like he impacted the ball like at all. Like he didn't make any solid contact with the ball last year when I was down there. And then the first couple of games there, he's kind of struggling with that. And then you could kind of see it turn a little bit with him. And then he started to hit the ball more and more and more. And then he finally hit the home run, hit like a double two. Still striking out.
That home run was, oh man.
Yes, that was. And he hit another one too. I think, like right before that went foul, but like it was gone. Like it left.
Well, that's it. I know you. I think you had mentioned it before too about how. Like this, we're not talking about like Triolo or Cheng who just have like that line drive type of swing to where a hitter's haven like Greensboro, those balls are going to find their way out. Like this Greensboro team has dudes with pop. Like
those are home runs.
Yeah.
Most of the home runs that I saw last week were home runs, no matter where you went. Like it wasn't.
Yeah.
They weren't cheapies. They were hit hard and long.
Yeah.
And every bit of them. Like I think it looked like they have like a net over by where the scoreboard is because like there's like a road right behind that scoreboard, and it looked like Polanco could have easily like cleared the street with that one home run he hit and hit the other apartments if it wasn't for that net. So,
which I need to look into that again, maybe for like next week because I will say I think at least these first 3.5 series. They've all been in some of the friendliest home run parks so far. Although, I mean, as we're saying, I don't think much changes when they go to less friendly because the raw power is there.
Those weren't cheap. Yeah, they weren't cheap. But well, that's I think those were really the main highlight, guys. Other than that, Hunter Delgado had a good week. Garrett McMillan had a pretty good start again. I know he's one of the guys that you like a lot. I had a chance to talk with him too. He said he dropped the sliders, throwing more to cutter. He said that the cutter the slider and curveball were kind of blending together, so he decided to go with the cutter to give another look off the fastball. Kind of gave us more confirmation that the Pirates especially like pitchers with the outlier fastball stuff, because he said he had no idea. He had no idea how he made like hitters miss with his fastball throwing at 90-91 in college, and then the Pirates kind of broke it down to him, and he was like, "Oh, okay, well that makes sense." So
makes sense.
Yeah, so Pirates love their outlier fastballs. And he has one of those, even though he doesn't throw hard. So, yeah, fun week. Get a couple week break, and I'm off to Bradenton again. So
there you go.
Yeah. Right. So we're gonna switch gears. There's a couple other players that we wanted to bring up. First one because he started again Tuesday night when we were recording, but Hunter Barco is up to 17 2/3 without giving up a run yet. He has 22 strikeouts and only 4 walks. And I had someone ask me in the Anistine Discord about him being a top 100 prospect. I would have to believe at some point he's going to get some like consideration now, right? Like it's going to be kind of hard to keep him out at this point, especially once more and more people start graduating. I think that's what you're kind of waiting on. Depends how many more people graduate.
I mean, he's kind of
the draft happens.
And he's kind of doing what, Ashcraft did when Ashcraft came back from injury. And because he went like kind of similarly where he went like 29 innings or something without giving a run, or only give like 1 run or something. Mm-hmm. So going back to last year, 21 2/3 innings, 28 Ks, 4 walks. I mean, he's hit 3 batters this year, but hasn't given up a run, not even a unearned run. So a lefty that's touching 96, 97. I think it's very plausible that he finds his way on the list by midseason. Although kind of going back to the whole talking about top prospects opening up in the majors, there's not really a lot of guys close right now. But with some movement, I think he could very easily find his way onto a top 100 list by midseason.
Yeah, I think a lot of that's like you said, or maybe there's not as many people coming off the list. So, and then like if the draft takes place, it might be a little bit hard. I think he has to be close to knocking on the door. But like different form of this question. Bo Chandler obviously is the top pitching prospect in the Pirates system. Probably the best pitching prospect in baseball right now. Would you call Hunter Barco the second best prospect? Would you be ready to call him the second best pitching prospect in the system right now? Like if we were doing an update on the site right now, would you, how far, if at all, would you leapfrog him from where you had him going into the year after seeing where he's at?
Yeah, no, I think that's very reasonable. I don't know if it was last year, end of last year, might have been end of last year. I mean, people can go check receipts where I was saying that, if there was, I would be willing to trade any pitcher except for Bubba and Barco.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm like, those are my 2. And at that point, I still had like Ashcraft, Harrington, Burrows, like above Barco. Maybe not Burrows, but even if they were, it was moderately. But now that, Barco back to full health, throwing 4-5 innings, like he threw, I think, 76 pitches tonight, night of the recording, 4 2/3. Like it's at the point now where it's like, okay, I think he's full go. The stuff's there. The stuff has popped even more than because he was someone that was throwing 90-91 in Bradenton and now he's up 95, 96, 97 regularly with, command, multiple pitches, the arm slot. Like he's a very good pitcher. And then you throw in the fact he's a lefty. So
yeah,
I think, I would say it's very well the second best pitcher in the system right now.
Which, considering the fact that what is it? I think on our site we only had Burrows was behind him, so it was Ashcraft and Harrington that were ahead of him. And the fact that, Ashcraft struggled a little bit this year in AAA, and then Harrington's made his major league debut.
Mm-hmm.
First game didn't go great. Second game went better, and he's done good since he's went back down to Indianapolis. I think kind of saying that speaks to the giant leap that Barco's made at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I just think that I just think that with what he's shown this year, Barco has pushed his ceiling, the possibility of what he could be further than what it.
Yeah.
Because previously he was more of like a Harrington ceiling, where it's like, he's going to be a starter, but he's going to be like a fifth type, throws in, get you innings, kind of guy. But now it's like, okay, no, this is a guy that could probably take over a game for you. So
he looked really good against Chesapeake Tuesday night on there. The splitter or the camera angle, they had Chesapeake they have that camera angle from behind home plate, but you can see, you were really able to see the dive like that the splitter has and stuff like that, and the slider. So just now having 3 pitches that are above average, make a case that maybe the splitter's a plus pitch. That just kind of elevates him to a whole new level. Then
with command too. So
with command, like you said, he's hit the 3 guys, but he's only walked 4 in basically 18 innings.
I actually was it? Well, yeah, because it was Long and Hagen on the NS9 podcast too. I think that was talking about how Florida just seems to have not do very well with developing pitchers. Just Brandon Sproat, Barco, Hurston Waldrep, like all those guys. Like they get into the who's the other one? There was another one. But they get into a professional organization, and it's all of a sudden like, whoa, okay. He looked like a pretty solid prospect, but now he's a dude.
Whole different conversation, yeah. So the last guy we wanted to bring up tonight, he hit another home run on Tuesday for Indianapolis. Not technically a prospect anymore, but since he's in the minors and since the major league team is struggling a bit at certain aspects that he may be able to contribute in, wanted to talk about Liover Peguero a little bit, who always that kind of intriguing guy, the guy with the tools and whatnot, had that combined 2020 season a couple years ago between the minors and the majors, but just hasn't really been able to build on that. It's looking pretty good this year. Contact's up a little bit more. Hitting the ball harder.
Contact's up. Like a lot of his numbers are up considerably right now.
Yeah. We don't do the video anymore on here, but we pull I have the 2 TJ stats. Shout out to TJ stats. Looking at how he did last year compared to this year, and man, it's like night and day. Still looks like he's chasing a little bit more, but Nick Gonzalez has always been that kind of guy. And he's found a way to make it work. Hard hit rate is up slightly. 90th percentile exit. I think the biggest thing for him is the zone whiff rate or the zone contact rate is up to 86, right at 87% right now. Where last year it was 77%. So it's up basically 10%. So he's making good contact when it's in the zone. The strikeouts have come way down as a result of that. What do you think, man? Is it time to give him a shot, and where exactly do you thrust him onto this roster?
I would love for them to kind of bring him up and give him a run. just because I think Peguero being even just an average ball player on the big league club opens up the roster so much
Yeah.
because like IKF should not be at shortstop and just, getting someone who should be a shortstop and is hitting at shortstop would
Yeah.
um it would have, I guess, a snowball effect on the entire roster to where it's like, I mean, to where if you're talking about getting Gonzalez back at second base, or even just IKF moving over to second, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of second base utility types. I guess at that point you got to kind of decide what to do with, but that's a better problem to have than what they're doing with playing, a guy that shouldn't be there, an everyday shortstop. So
Yeah.
if Peguero is truly having like a breakthrough finally, which again, I mean, he's only 24, so it's not
Yeah.
like he's just another guy that's like he's been around forever, so it feels like he's older, but he's only 24, so he's still young, and I just I want this to be a true breakthrough so bad because to me he's O'Neal Cruz light.
Mhm. Yeah.
He's just an extremely athletic kid. Like, I mean, he's gonna have some miscues at shortstop. He last year it seemed like he tightened that up, which was kind of the weird thing to where like it was like well, so what, 23, yeah, 23 is when he had like the 2020 season, but you wanted better defense out of him. Then last year was like, okay, his defense is looking better, but then the bat disappeared. So maybe hopefully 2025 is the year of him, bringing them both together and to see if he could succeed. I mean, that would go a long way to helping push his organization in a very positive direction if he could
Exactly.
pan out.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think we've all seen it from here. I remember watching him in Altoona when I was at one of the Richmond series, and he made like one of the most incredible plays at shortstop to throw a batter out, and then like 2 innings later, like he throws a ball to like second base into the outfield, and they lose the game because of it. And it was like a routine double. It was supposed to be like a routine double play, and
Yeah.
it's just always kind of, but like everything kind of just seems like it's rounding out together. For me, for the life of me, I could never understood why they never gave him a shot in the outfield. Actually had a former scout tell me that he thought, like a couple years ago, that this guy would be a really good outfielder with his athletic ability. And so, like, I never quite, but besides that,
I
they need
believe
a
it.
shortstop. They need a legit shortstop. Give it a shot. And I think I would love to
Hell,
do
at
this
this point, you
before.
know what? See, I mean, hell, at that point, you're like, yeah, I mean, even on the outfield, put him in over Tommy Pham or in right field. Or I mean, Reynolds is back healthy, but just as the third outfielder, like
Yeah,
that would probably go a long
yeah,
ways.
yeah, yeah. And I would
Yeah,
love to see him get a chance before like Nick Gonzalez comes back, because as soon as Nick Gonzalez comes back, it's kind of second base is his, which I guess for the most part rightfully so. Um, and then you're probably having a less of an opportunity there. So at this point,
yeah, because then
like
they
I
got
feel
to
like he's
decide
played hard.
between.
I feel like he's played hard and he's played solid,
Yeah,
but like I think it's just time to kind of move on from Adam Frazier. Like I think he's made some plays here and there, but he's just kind of maxed out what you can probably get out of him at this point. Move on. Give
yeah,
Peguero a shot. Give him a run. If it doesn't work, I mean, fine. And then at that point, maybe Nick Gonzalez is back, and then you just kind of swap them out. If not,
yeah.
I mean, you can try to get creative with some stuff for yeah. So give it a shot before Gonzalez comes back, and your roster kind of solidifies more into what you're already envisioning it being. You have a chance now to try something different, maybe to get the team going, give it a shot.
But yeah, I'd rather the discussion be about which of the 5 second basemen do we keep to play second base versus which of the 5 second basemen do we have to split time between first, second, short, outfield.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, did we have anyone else we wanted to talk about, or you about ready to start wrapping this one up?
You know, just because I feel like we're always so mean, I want to give an honorable mention to Mitch Jab, who's had a very nice 5-game stretch.
Yeah.
What is that? 7. Let's see. What is it? Yeah, 10, 7 to 16 with a double, some stolen bases. That's a very nice 4-game or 5-game stretch. So I think he deserves a round of applause.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
He's keeping his game simple, staying, doing at
yeah.
what is it? I think last year to begin the year, he was trying to sell out for some power in Greensboro, and it kind of messed with him for the entire year, and he never got quite back.
Yeah, we know when we noticed that really early on because going into the year was he had something stupid like a 2.7 swing and strike percentage, and then all of a sudden it was like, where are all these strikeouts coming from?
Yeah, he was definitely selling. I think he hit home runs in back-to-back games. That was kind of like the sign for me. It's like, yeah, he's trying to do this. He's trying to go because that's the only way that's happening. So yeah, good staying within itself. Maybe that'd be a huge step. Maybe I think the next step for him would be just not to play the infield anymore, which I know he doesn't have any. He doesn't have any say in that. He kind of just goes to play where he's told, but
they love their second baseman.
I mean, I guess maybe we should give the Pirates some credit because Tamar has only played second base this year, which is something we said probably needs to happen. Connor Griffin has only played shortstop since the season has started, so they're letting
maybe
him
they're learning
on that. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess. So, but good on them. Now they just need to get Jeb in the outfield and keep him out there. So,
yeah.
But yeah. So yeah, that's gonna do it for the show today. Nola, any Nola knowledge for us? Did you write anything down?
Well, I was honestly just gonna say, don't buy from Wayfair.
Okay, well, take them out as a potential sponsor now, but that's fine.
I mean, if they want to sponsor us, I will give them a glowing review after that.
Yeah. Okay. So that's the Nola knowledge for today. Where can people find you on social media stuff?
At Nola Jeffy, NOLAJEFFY. Although, you can find me there. I haven't been as vocal this year frequently, but I'm there lurking.
Yeah. We see. I still post some stuff and all that once the games are going, but we see everything that happens, don't we? We see it all, and we laugh about it in the group chat.
Pretty much.
Yeah. As always, follow me at _Murphy88. Bucks on Deck Substack. Ethan's got an article coming out today when this releases. Ryan threw in something about Matt Gorski, who's another guy that we'll probably have to get to at some point.
Why do they hate him so much?
I don't know, man. Just give him a shot. All he wants is a shot. I'll start Friday. Will be my first player feature from the Greensboro trip. I haven't decided who it's going to be about yet, but I expect a couple of those of the week. And then, like I said, in a couple of weeks, I'll be down in Bradenton. Might do another type of sale or something like that. I know next week for the podcast, we're going to talk some Florida Complex League since that league starts when I'm down there, which is the reason why I'm going down there. So we're going to talk some of that. Find DK Pittsburgh Sports, do some minor league stuff there, and then also Baseball America, which I'm getting ready to send in my next article for them. So be on the lookout for that.
Woo-hoo.
And we'll catch you guys again next week. Thanks for tuning in.
Deuce.